So basically, would like to know on your visit here to Goa, especially with this respect to this parliamentary visit that you have, if you can just brief us a little.
Yes, basically it happens. As you know, the various parliamentary committees do visit various states and to review the schemes, government schemes, and how everything is functioning, and to take the suggestions, and to find it out what is the issues, challenges, and the suggestions from the grassroots level. So there was a parliamentary committee on PMEGP. So that is very well conducted, concluded. And after that, for me, it is a privilege to be in Goa to meet our own people, our own staff and customers, and also to the government officials. So certainly keeping in view parallelly the parliamentary committee, it was an appropriate time to meet the entire, because there are two important stakeholders for any organization. The one is basically my customers, because if there is no customer, there cannot be any organization. So that is, I think, the topmost. The second one is my own staff. So if there is no staff, we cannot serve any customers. So the very purpose of this visit, apart from the officially the parliamentary committee, is the my own business, and we do have a good plan in place to increase. Right now, we have around portfolio of 7,000 crores in Goa, which is the zone, our Goa zone, which we have. So in a first plan, first phase, we want to increase and cross 10,000 crores. And in the next phase, we want to cross 15,000 crores. So for that, we are basically on the way to improve our footprints and reach in the state.
Considering your North Goa presence is quite considerable, however, in South you still have a little to penetrate. How do you see going forward? How do you see your growth?
Yeah, actually, see, the state is evolving, and since morning I was moving. So yesterday also when I came, I visited one or two few good customers, and I really like to take the ground level feedbacks from the customer. So I was with some one or two very good customers in Goa. So I was trying to understand the fiber cable network which has been lined down, and the real estate business, both on the commercial lines and on the residential lines, and what is the, the demand. So that is one feedback I got it. Then second, today I met honorable chief minister also, and then the government machinery, the head of treasury. So the government machinery, basically four meetings I had today. And the good thing which I observed is that the government is also moving very fast. And on a very positive note, they are actually trying some innovations, trying digital, and trying to manage the funds very nicely. And they are also trying to collaborate with the organizations which can digitally help them in creating dashboards, and so that the things can be monitored. So today is actually my visit since yesterday and today. So I felt that the on parallel lines, if we see Bank of Maharashtra, so we are also evolving, very rapidly on the technological front. So we have already taken some, I think, 9 fintechs earlier. The last month we have onboarded four, and all four are very novel. And probably by 15th of May, I believe that we will be onboarding almost 10 more. So what actually we are trying to do is to harness the technology and digital through the fintech route, because when you are going to develop, by the time you develop, the the technology may change, but the thing is that the fintechs are already there, which are very good on cyber security and all the security terms and robustness. So better to select, choose from them with a proper process. So we do have a fintech policy in the bank, and from there we actually, then we do a rigorous, I think, some 3 months exercise is there, which we say PPTDC, people, process, technology, and then data and the compliance culture in that company. So then we onboard. So probably that with this fintech, onboarding, we will be in a position to offer not only the government sector but also to the private sector, because everybody today needs two things. Ease of doing business is the most important. So if government machinery, it is not only simply opening the SNA account or the CNA account. If you integrate with PFMS in such a way that you give an entire dashboard and a good service, then actually anybody would like to bank with you. Similarly with the private sector, that if you try to build your system so robust and then you give the services at ease, then certainly that corporate will like to bank with you for a very long time. So this is our plan. On basis of this plan, I am very sure the team at Goa will be taking forward business from present 7 to 10 and then from 10 to 15.
Okay. Looking at your competition, there are a lot of peers who are there who has a larger, assets under management. How are you as a, certainly a regional enterprise, obviously making a mark across India? How do you see this competition, especially with case study to Goa?
Actually, very good question you have asked. Let me first compliment you because it is one of the question how you are going to beat the competition. Now let me be very clear. Today, two, three things are very common. The economy has shifted a lot. The consumerism, or I should say the customer expectation has shifted a lot. Now what is happening that the people who are very good in execution, let me be very clear, who are very good in execution means use of technology, not only manual execution, and meeting the expectation of your customer. So the people who are going to be the milestone or a cornerstone in this niche area is going to beat the competition, not the size. So this is what I want to say to you, that if you build the things and if you reach a customer, now if you see some of the NBFCs, they are doing very good. So now they do have a market. Simply one more belief that I have is if you see, I think you are in the press and media, you must have observed some 7 days back or 10 days back, our country has become number one in population in the world. Now the age of the country between say 22 to 60 years, okay, and is the 60% of the age is lying in between this and the demand. So basically the Indian economy is a demand driven economy. Now there is a lot of demand coming from the citizens itself. So rather than the export or anything, we do have internal demand which is really taking the, that is why we are saying by 2025 5 trillion and then again 7 trillion economy by 30, until 247 we think of 20 trillion and 30 trillion economy. So basically we have in place today. Now let me give you some data. I think if I'm not wrong, you can Google it around 1 minute, 3 people from the rural India is joining in internet. Now the UPI transactions in 2013-14, we were on the data usage, we were 128th in the world. Today we are the first in data usage in the world. Now internet data, which we say the JAM, Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile, JAM Trinity. Now this JAM Trinity and now the bankers coming with the ease agenda and the other things, use of technology, that is going to play a role. Now when you ask me about the Bank of Maharashtra, typically you see, because I cannot divulge the figures which are not yet out, because already our 31st March is over, we have informed the Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. We have already clocked the business of 4.09 crore. So if you see my growth rate, which is in advances, is around ranging quarter to quarter, it is ranging from say 21, 22% to 29%. That is my range. Now on the deposit side also, range is between 10 to 20, 22%. Now my CASA, if you see, is around 50 to 53%, which shows the loyalty of a customer towards the Bank of Maharashtra. Now, if 50% is my average CASA, my certainly NIM is yielding around about 3.5%. In December itself, I am just telling you the figure which is already in the press and media. We have crossed the ROA, return on asset of 1, which is a dream for any public sector bank. Now, that being the case, today, your bank, Bank of Maharashtra, is having the lowest rate of interest, at least in home loan, I think the agriculture gold loan, personal loan, and many other things, the lowest in the market. So why, when we are the love and affection and the loyalty which the customers are showing by keeping their money, we are giving them back as a a gesture, as a service, that competitive rate which is the lowest in the market. So with this entire scenario, the strength in the bank, which my own staff, which is a very customer friendly, Apla Bank, which used to say the Maja Bank, Bank of Maharashtra. So with love and affection, and this the CASA range of say 50 to 53% average, and the digital intervention which we are doing in the bank, so I am certainly sure that my zone, Goa zone, it will be in a position to meet the expectation of the local machinery, administration, state government, and also the customers which are in the state.
Taking a little cue from your initial answers, is it the banking trend towards micromanagement more now, rather than macro, which we used to otherwise, see, as you rightly mentioned, the rural belts, or the small pockets or maybe niche market.
It is actually. See, what was happening that you already, there are two ways to handle the business scenario. The one way is that you go for a bulk business, means I think you are asking same thing, that whether you are getting 500 crore business and 1000 crore. So certainly it will continue because infrastructure is booming well in the country. If you see the road sector and the water sanitation and all, so many things are happening, particularly in the solar field also energy. If you see, lot many things are happening. So after the post COVID, the industries has bounced back very well, and I think ours is the country which has responded very positively. Sometimes the economist, I am not an economist, but that people say V-shaped recovery. So when if we see that, so certainly we see lot of inputs coming. So the good proposals or the good projects will continue to do, but at the same time, what you said is that the lower strata. See, the future is going where you are giving each person 1 month salary in advance. So I'm just giving you a use case. Now a person goes to in a maybe any store, electronic store, and they suppose they purchase an Apple iPhone or an iPad. Now within 3 minutes that loan is disbursed without a person going to a branch. So the more you get involved into this smaller business, maybe a pre-approved personal loan, maybe a balance transfer, maybe somebody wants to purchase a fridge, refrigerator, say around 1.5 lakh or 2 lakh or 3 lakh. So what happens that by the time you are selecting and you are doing the billing, by the time the loan is approved. So now I am again coming that the technology is going to, not only technology, this is not the only era of technology. Now the era of the banking will be the data science. Using the internal data, using the external data, now not meeting the customer, but knowing 360 degree of a customer and straight away sanctioning within 3 minutes, and also doing the digital documentation, which is done already through NESL, which is an IBBI subsidiary, IBBI company. So I believe this is going to play a crux for next to 10 to 15 years. So what you said is totally, I fully agree, it is correct.
Okay, with respect to, as you rightly said, we have just crossed to be, number one in population around the globe. Business happens to be one key interest, especially here in Goa as well. Startup is the government is also very keen on promoting startups and trying to compete with metros like maybe a Bangalore or Mumbai for that matter. How do you see going ahead, and obviously balancing the NPAs, because the banking sectors had classic cases in the past of NPAs.
See, that I think your question has two parts. The one is you have touched base upon the startups and other things also. And the second one is you are asking about the position of the states account. So one by one, I will answer. On the startup, I am very sure that now two things are in place which were not there earlier. The first thing is that it was a more of a manual intervention. If you see 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, or maybe 10 or 12. So there you didn't had a sufficient the infrastructure to monitor where you have given a loan. That is point number one. Now, suppose if you have given infrastructure loan, there was no ASM. That there are now agencies for monitoring the projects, monitoring the term loans and other things. And now you have all sort of machineries in place, LI in place, reports in place, and you have outside data. Earlier, 15 years back, it was very difficult to get. Now there are artificial intelligence deployed solutions and almost taking 47 data points. So you name a person, take his PAN number, and immediately within 3 minutes the system is giving almost 47 data points. Now you are also doing the assessment on the GST, the filed by a customer. So when GST is filed, it means that much turnover is done, which is more robust. See, you are in a financing business, NP is bound to happen because it is your business. But then it has to be your credit cost. Basically, in banking, we used to say when analyst meet used to be the credit cost. If your credit cost is below, say 0.751% is very good. So I think the banks today are well equipped in assessment part, taking the data using artificial intelligence and all those things. And the secondly, that the monitoring mechanism with the feet on the street, also they are using the artificial. In fact, our bank also, Bank of Maharashtra, is now poised for using artificial intelligence. We are using machine learning as of now for last, I think, 1 year. So we are doing a lot of data science, machine learning and then predicting models we have. The second one is that we are using technology for, cross sell, upsell. We are using huge outside data. We have done 3 collaborations as of now. So we have gone to a branch level. So I am very sure that the coming of the artificial intelligence as well. So person used to come to know that such a such person having mobile number this and this, what is his name is saved in the Truecaller. Let me tell you with the intervention of the artificial intelligence. So the robustness is more, number one is more. Second one is, if you see even our Bank of Maharashtra, our the net NPA is very very less. In absolute terms, it is 715 crore only. My total NPA of the bank, not I am talking about the Goa zone. And if you take 1200 crores is in my COVID provision. So COVID provision minus 715, so almost 870 crores. Sorry, 470 crores is a positive side. So the very well capitalized, I think good assessment and then diversified portfolio. These 3 things is going to help the bankers in maintaining the asset quality.
You mentioned AI, and I'm tempted to ask you, with intervention of AI, a lot of careers are, a lot of people thinking with respect to their careers, will banking still be a lucrative career in the future?
See, I will tell you myself. Okay, this is going to be something, but then no problem. Many engineers are coming to the banking fraternity. See, the thing is that earlier also there was a requirement of engineers in the bank because you are funding power plants, you are funding various power projects, see, various other projects. Now you need, somebody to monitor it and understand what the business is. The second one, when you said about the artificial intelligence, there are 2 types of theory which are running in the market. The one is running that whether it will reduce the employment. Let me be very frank, which actually you wanted to speak, but that you didn't spoke on that. The second one is you are asking that how it is going to help. What is the employment, status in the bank? Now let me tell you, today the business opportunity is like a sea. The problem is what is the appetite of an organization to take the business. Now, with the use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotic process automation, I am using all the 3. If you use all the 3, actually you are increasing your efficiency. Now, I am just telling you, suppose an organization is having a business of say 1000 crore with an employee of 1000. Now, if you want to do a business of 5000, you cannot increase the on one night, staff to 5000. Now, with this, you can increase from 1000 to 2000, say, and with the use of technology, you can still canvas and monitor the business of 5000. Today, the market is huge. You have a huge opportunity in front of you. And that is what I was saying when the 60% of the population in the range of 22 to 60, next 30 years you are going to rule on the demand. So you need to plan for next 30 years. I am not talking about next 1 or 2 years, 6 months. So until unless you build the technology, artificial intelligence, robotic process, and all these three, four pillars which we used to say, and then try to innovate things where you can serve the customer without their visiting to the branch, 100% STP basis, and not only on the loan or account opening, but also on the servicing side. So if you do three all, I am of the view it is going to increase the employment because your business is increasing. So your employment will increase. More people you have to induct. It may happen that you may require a certain skill set to run the organization in certain specific areas, not for all. But two things are going to play a major role. One is marketing and other is monitoring in the bank going forward.
I believe you looked after MSME and retail. Yeah. With respect to Goa, a lot of after our CM presented the budget, a lot of people said from the industrial state that the manufacturing sector was kind of ignored. We also have a lot of MSMEs, sectors or companies here in Goa. How are you trying to push them up the ladder so that they are operating on a larger scale? We have a lot of enterprises here in Goa, whether it is Kamats that have made into now the stock market also. How would you like to collaborate with all this businessmen and also take it on a larger scale, which is not the case as of now?
Okay, now the question. For this, I can just tell that a lot of things what we have learned, that is thanks to the COVID. Because of these, lot of initiatives has taken. Most of the cases are taken by the RBI, the initiatives to help the MSME sectors. And after giving lot of help from the government side, as well as relaxations in the policy by the RBI, MSME sectors, we have survived that period. But after COVID, still we see that there is no trace in the MSME sector right now, and all the sector, the MSME sector is doing well. And to more get more what we say that from the bank side, what exactly the MSME for that in all pan India and Goa also we are calling the all the MSME borrowers and the topmost what we say that owners who are in this field, and we are getting the inputs from it. We just though call it as a outreach, but it's not only one side that we want to increase the business. The outreach, the purpose what we are conducting with the borrowers and the other owners, that is that we again want to learn from the things what are the hurdles, because now in the market if you see that the TAT is one of the most important. Though when we say that sir has already told regarding the digitization, so with digitization also, how fast we can give the services to the customer, that is one of the key point. Otherwise, we will lose into the market. So the program what we are conducting, that outreach and other things. So we are taking the inputs because a lot of policies are framed, and we are, as a PSU we are acting from. So how relaxed policy can be made, how convenient it will be for the customer, and various scheme. The best one what we are seeing is that whenever we visit some zones and that we found some clusters, a particular one business. Now today we see that for Goa, if I say that cashew, lot of units are there. So I am financing in general to these units. So can we have a separate policy for that cluster? So we can help. So like that, we are thinking for each and every sector in this MSME field.
With respect to Goa as a zone, I think it constitutes just the state, not any other peripheral areas. Um, Hospitality and or rather tourism and mining is to be the backbone of the economy. Over this course of time, it's been 10 years that we are off the mining radar now. The government is coming up with the mining or auctions and stuff like that. Hospitality post COVID kind of struggled. Was it a challenging time for you, and how, if you can maybe share the formula on how you converted Goa per se, because it's very specific to a state, and our challenges and our issues are way different than rest of the counterparts here in the country where you exist.
Goa in the basically the business portfolio that we are having in terms of Bank of Maharashtra.
it is a mixed kind, and as our James has told, we are basing on the mostly the cluster based approach. The Goa is basically the business is hospitality, as well as cashew based plantations, plantation based businesses, as well as local kind of business they are doing, like this marine exports and these things. We are catering to all the segments of the society through their needs, in particular through the government sponsored schemes, through their demands, as well as our various schemes that have been launched by the Bank of Maharashtra, which is really competitive in terms of their rate of interest, which we are providing to the in the state of Goa as well as across India. So people, particularly in all the segments, be it in the means it's a kind of micro loan, it's a MSME loan, it's a big loan, or it's a retail segment loan, all kind of loan that we're providing, and the requirement of the people of the state of Goa that we are catering through various loans portfolios, that is as means the best in the industry, as well as in terms of the rate of interest, very competitive rate is all in all aspects of retail as well as all micros. Every a kind of loan we are giving. And Goa in particular, the SRTO, we have a scheme of SRTO. SRTO means that is transport operator scheme, because Goa is basically that taxi business is high of demand, and new airports are coming, and a lot of people are depending on that also. And in that way also we are providing competitive road, and people are getting the needs. So in that way, whatever stress is there, by catering the need of the basically in the various segments, particularly of the people and their needs, uh, through our various schemes of Bank of Maharashtra, we are covering and getting their answers of that.
Okay, if I can ask you, what is the balance between a retail and a enterprise or a corporate? What is that portfolio that you, as of now, have?
Retail, I would say, is
Percentage.
yeah, in percentage, it is 80% and more than is our retail portfolio, whereas in corporate level, it is only 10 to 15% we have, and rest is the MSME. I would say retail and MSME will be the 80-85%. So that clearly indicates that Bank of Maharashtra is clearly focusing on the part of the various segments of the market.